Twitter report, the new Nazism? America's elite profiting from immigration chaos. The U.S. immigration system isn't broken, it's rigged for profit by elites on both sides of the aisle. The parallels to Nazi Germany are chilling. Are we creating a system of modern labor camps fueled by corporate greed, just as Henry Ford and other industrialists backed the forced labor of Jews during World War II? Let's connect the dots. 1. NAFTA's fallout. A forced exodus in 1994, NAFTA devastated Mexico's corn market. Subsidized U.S. corn flooded Mexico, slashing prices by 66% and destroying local farming. Millions of families had no choice but to migrate north in search of survival. Source: Citizen.org. 2. Exploitation at the border. Private prison corporations like GEO Group and CoreCivic profit from detaining immigrants. They made $4 billion in 2017, with ICE as their biggest customer. Immigrants are often paid $1 a day to cook and clean. Forced labor, anyone? Source: Migration Policy Institute. Current Affairs. 3. Nazi Germany comparisons. Just as Nazi Germany used Jewish forced labor to fuel industries, America's elite exploit immigrant detainees in for-profit prisons. Even Henry Ford, hailed as a capitalist icon, supported these camps for profit. Are we repeating history under a different guise? For political theater, both Democrats and Republicans blame each other, but neither has fixed immigration in 50 years. Why? Because keeping the system broken benefits corporate donors and private prison profiteers. GEO Group spent $1.6 million lobbying in 2018. CoreCivic contributed $2.8 million to politicians. Source: Vox, Wikipedia. 5. Mass deportations and taxpayer-cost. Mass deportations fuel private equity profits. Trump-era policies, supported by figures like Tom Homan, spiked detention numbers. Private prison stocks soared while taxpayers foot the bill for the catch-and-release cycle. Source: Investors.com. ABC News. 6. Contradictory lies. Politicians claim Social Security is going broke because of too many retirees and not enough workers. Yet they fight to block immigration reform that could legalize young laborers to sustain Social Security. Why? Because immigration chaos is more profitable. 7. The real enemy: immigrants aren't stealing jobs, they're doing America's dirty work, harvesting crops, building homes, and caring for the elderly. The real threat is an elite class profiting off their suffering while turning Americans against each other with lies. 8. Modern labor camps? From the fields of California to detention centers in Texas, immigrant labor is exploited to maximize corporate profits. What's the difference between today's labor exploitation and the forced labor of Nazi Germany? The uniforms have changed, but the greed remains. Call to action: we must demand transparency on politicians' financial ties to private prisons. Accountability for corporations exploiting forced labor. Reform to legalize immigrants and end profiteering off human misery. This is a human rights crisis disguised as policy failure. Let's expose the truth. Hashtag immigration reform. Hashtag abolish private prisons. Hashtag human rights matter. Sources: VoxCitizen.org. Migration Policy Institute. Current Affairs. ABC News. Investors.com. Wikipedia. American Legislative Exchange Council. Bible verse: Proverbs 22 verse 16. Whoever oppresses the poor for his own increase and whoever gives to the rich, both come to poverty. This verse reminds us of the moral imperative to protect the vulnerable and oppose systems built on exploitation and greed. Famous American father quote Thomas Jefferson: "I tremble for my country when I reflect that God is just, that his justice cannot sleep forever." Jefferson's words resonate as a warning against systems of oppression and inequality that exploit others for profit. These additions frame the report with moral authority and historical gravity, tying the issue to broader themes of justice and the consequences of greed.